Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. Well, here we go again. It doesn't seem like there's a day at all where you can't go look at the news and find another shooting. I know you're going to have all the liberals go, this is the reason we need to get rid of guns. This is the right? You know, we hear this all the time. No. This is the reason you need to carry your weapon with you all the time. Wherever you go. I don't care if it's to the kitchen to get a glass of lemonade, to the bathroom to go do your business, or to the grocery store. Just yesterday, we had a shooting in Arkansas at a grocery store. Okay, you know, figure, hey, you're going to go get your groceries, whatever, 3 people killed. Okay. Just yesterday, we had a shooting after a fight on the New York subway. Gee, didn't Kathy Hochul just call the National Guard in to make sure nobody was getting on the subway with a weapon? Oops. Guess you failed. You look at all the shootings that have happened in the last week around the country, okay? Rochester Hills, Michigan, you remember that one at the splash pad, okay? Had a bunch of people shot there. You had 7 people shot in Methuen, Massachusetts at a Juneteenth party. You had 16 people shot at a Juneteenth party in Round Rock, Texas. We don't even have to go into Chicago, okay? You had 3 people shot in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. You had a shooting at a gas station in Tuskegee, Alabama. Then you had countless shootings, of course, in Philadelphia. There was one in Princeton, West Virginia. You had 2 shootings in Ohio, one in Cincinnati and another in Columbus. You had 5 people injured in one and 4 in the other, okay? Fort Lauderdale, you got 4 people there. I mean, this was just in the last week. Now, we've mentioned many times that this summer's going to be crazy. Here's the problem we have. Okay, we don't know the reasons behind these shootings besides the fact that these people are just mentally unstable. Okay, but what we do know is that the soft on crime policies that all these George Soros DAs have initiated are leaving more crazy people out on the street to do stuff. I mean, again, you look at some of these. You're going to pump gas. Bullets start flying. You go to buy a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk. Bullets start flying. You go to take your kids to cool off in 90-degree temperatures. Bullets start flying. Okay? There was more restraint in the wild, wild west. All right? That this has gotten crazy. You need to, wherever you go, be ready. You know, the questions always come up. The comment is always made, you know, the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Where the hell are all the good guys? You know, it amazes me, the New York subway one. This one's classic. You can go, I'll link it below. You can go watch the video of I mean, it's a couple of minutes long. I'm not going to put it in here because it's just too much. But you can go watch the video, literally, of these 2 guys fighting on the train, and somebody else pulled a knife, stabbed one guy, one of the fighters, and then the guy who gets stabbed pulls a gun, and, you know, it's just, then he winds up getting shot with his own gun, okay? But, I mean, it's silly that somebody got on with a knife, somebody got on with a gun, and the National Guard's supposed to be checking everybody for weapons, and failed miserably, okay? I guess they were too worried about if their lipstick matched their uniform. We need to protect ourselves. You know, a good guy with a gun is the only thing that's going to stop a bad guy with a gun. You know, all the jokes all the time. It's like, why was this shooter arrested? You know, the cops need more time at the range, I guess, because their accuracy is not exactly what I'd call good. Okay. Now we get to pay for life imprisonment, you know, 3 hots and a cot for this guy for the next 40 years, while his sentence is waiting to be carried out because the cop's aim sucks. It's got to the point where, are you safe going out because of the policies that these cities and states are putting up? I mean, they're releasing people constantly. I mean, look at the illegals. They're released right into the country. You got people, I mean, unless you've got a murder case and it's basically open and shut, they're releasing these people back in the streets. There's a story yesterday about the Supreme Court making a decision. Now, this one, they made it right, but it was 6-3, okay? You can figure out which direction the 3 went. On whether an MS-13 member could get a green card. And, of course, he was denied and sued, and the appeals court said, oh, it was a violation of his rights. No. When you have to fill out all the paperwork, it says, are you a member of a terrorist organization, the Communist Party, yada, 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 and that's an automatic, you ain't coming. And this guy sued. He lost, okay? But that's how insane this has gotten with these criminals. And as much as the Biden administration comes up with all these statistics going, look, crime's down. No, crime is up. Crime reporting is down. Stories on illegals raping a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. Those are in the headlines this morning. You look at it and go, where the hell did our country go? Why are we all of a sudden a third world nation where people just walk down the street and randomly shoot other people and nobody stops them? I mean, literally around me, if you go into, I don't know, IHOP, and somebody decides to try to rob the place, there's going to be 15 guns pointed at the robber because everybody in this area is armed. For good reason. We don't want the trouble. Now, how good are you? Have you practiced? Have you been to the range? I mean, we can go into the question all the time. I've done a video on this in the past. Should you carry with one in the chamber? My answer is absolutely yes. And the reason being is if somebody's got a hold of this hand, there's no way I can wreck a slide, okay? I got a weapon in this hand. It's easy to flip the safety off, and I'm still good. And then I can easily free this hand. If you're not protecting yourself, who are you expecting to protect you? You are walking into the lion's den every time you go out in the street because law and order in this country under Biden's rule, under George Soros, under pick one, Eric Adams or Kathy Hochul or Gretchen Whitmer or Gavin Newsom or any of these other loony liberals, there is no law and order. The criminals have more rights than you. You go in, many of you guys have probably seen situations like this. I'll use one, my doctor, the VA, for example. It says right on the door, this is a gun-free zone. No weapons allowed. I don't care, okay? That's not a law. That's a policy, okay? The criminal is not going in going, oh, it's a school. It's a gun-free zone. I guess I can't do anything here. No. Your gun, your weapon, your protection doesn't do you any good when you're sitting at the kitchen table and it's in your nightstand. It doesn't do you any good when you're in the grocery store and it's out in the glove box. That thing needs to be on you all the time. The last thing I want to hear is any one of us involved in a shooting of any sort, being shot at or having to defend themselves. But I'll tell you this, if it comes down to it, I have a lot more faith in the people on this channel and other prepping channels doing the right thing and stopping the bad guy than being one of these morons out there going, oh look, I'll take my camera and I'll videotape him raping a 12-year-old. Right? Okay. The New York subway, like I said, there's somebody, he videotaped the whole thing. Didn't interfere. It was a fight going on. Didn't do anything to stop it. No, he videotaped it. So he could get his 15 seconds of fame on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or wherever. And of course, what wound up happening was now you had a guy with a gun, and if you go watch that video, passengers scrambling all over the place. Nobody stopped the guy. That's the thing. Some people may not be able to physically to do it. I get that, okay? You're elderly, you're handicapped, you're in a wheelchair or whatever it would be. I get you're not going to be able to go stop a guy, say my size, who's in a fight. But unless your arms are broken, you have an index finger that hopefully is well trained. Pinball out.